Welcome back to When Harry Met Board Games, where we feed our people with relatable content, and our victory condition is your satisfaction. I'm Harry, and before we go any further, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click on that bell notification. That way, when we are doing our thing, YouTube lets you know. Also, check in the description down below for a link to our Patreon and see how you can support this channel. Today, we'll be doing another playthrough. Today, I'll be playing through this game right here, Rune Age, which is a deck-building game of power and conquest in the land of Terrinoth, published by Fantasy Flight Games. So this is a deck building game that takes place within the Runebound or Terrinoth universe that's part of the Fantasy Flight catalog of games. And this is a very rich universe with lots of other games in the same line of games. And this is their deck building game. So I will be playing in particular a solo version of this game, and the rulebook does come with an official solo way of playing the game. Basically, this is what the game looks like set up. The game comes with 4 scenarios, and each of the scenarios comes with its own unique event deck that includes instant effects and even enemies players have to encounter. But also, each individual scenario comes with its own winning conditions and endgame triggers. So, according to the player count, you populate the general supply of cards, right? These are the cards that are basically a communal market that all players are vying for. Again, I'm playing solo, so I will be the only player contending for these. And you populate each of the different stacks according to the player count. Each individual player will have their own area called their barracks, and these consist of different strongholds and unit cards that they can add that are specific to their race. The game comes with 4 different races, and each player picks their own race. And again, you have these different cards that cost a different amount of money and give a different benefit and attack power to use throughout the game. And these are always available for the players to purchase. But again, these are player specific, so only the player who has this particular race can acquire these cards. While in here, the communal market, these are available to everybody. Each player gets a starting deck, which consists of 5 level 1 coins, right? You have 3 different denominations of coins. You have the 1, 2, and the 3. You start with 5 of these 1 coin value cards, and you start with 3 of your lowest unit, right? You have 4 different units available for purchase, and you start with 3 of the lowest ones. So you only start with a deck of 8, and that is your starting deck for the game. Each player also gets their own realm according to their player race. I chose the Dakin Lords, and right here in the lower right hand corner you see the health or life of this realm, because throughout the game we're going to be incurring damage, or our realm will be, and that's one of the ways you lose the game. You lose the game by player elimination, which in a multiplayer game would eliminate you from contention for victory. But in the solo game, obviously player elimination, you being the only player, means you have lost the game. Now let's read the condition here for this particular scenario. So first of all, the scenario is called The Resurgence of the Dragon Lords. And it says here that this objective card, so you always have the objective card for the particular scenario up here on the top, and it tells you what the objective is. This objective is considered an enemy. So basically, you're going to treat this card as an enemy itself. And the player who defeats this objective wins the game. And again, I'm playing solo, so for me to win the game, I have to defeat this objective. Here on the lower right-hand side, you see the life of this enemy, 18. I'm going to have to muster 18 worth of attack on a single turn in order to be able to defeat him. Also, on the lower left-hand corner here, you see the symbol with a die and a skull on it, and this symbol refers to the attrition die, which is this right here, which we will be occasionally rolling when we combat against enemies. And basically, when you roll the attrition die, based on the number of skulls you roll, that's how many casualties you're going to suffer with your units who are committed to that battle before you actually resolve said battle. And we'll show you more as to how that plays out later on. So let's start the game. We start the game with our starting hand of 5 cards. You always have a hand of 5 cards. And you can take a bunch of actions in whatever order you want. So, first of all, I have 2 coins. Now, it's very interesting the way that spending coins works in this game. First of all, the only thing that's really worth coins, there's 3 different currencies in this game. You have strength, you have influence, and you have money. And the only thing that's worth money in this game are the things that are the cards that are available in your barracks. Each of your units, you need to have money in order to buy it. You have either 1, 2, 3, or 5 costs worth of cards. And your strongholds are optional. You could either use money to purchase them and acquire them, or you can use attack. And the value of a stronghold is that it gains you this currency as influence. And we'll show how that works as the game progresses. So we have our starting hand here of 2 coins. And again, with coins, or with any currency in this game, you can use your currency to either, you could either purchase one card by using lots of your different currency cards, or you can split up your currency to purchase multiple cards. But it's very important, a very important rule of this game is you cannot make change. So whichever way you distribute your coins, there is no leftover coin that you can carry over to another purchase. So you have to manage the way you budget your coins or your money very, very shrewdly. In some of these deck builder games, the currency carries over to another round. Okay, so, or to another purchase, I should say. So with these 2, I'm actually going to use these 2 to purchase 2 of my footmen, right? So I got these 2 footmen here, and I'll add that to my discard pile. Now, I already had 3 footmen in my starting hand, and the footmen have a when played action, and it says when you play it, you reveal the top card. It doesn't say you may. You reveal the top card of your deck, and if it's a footman, you get to draw it into your hand. Otherwise, you discard it or place it on top of your deck. So the footman gives you 1 attack. So it's very helpful, not because this is very powerful, but because you have a good chance of drawing more footmen. The more footmen you have in your deck, the more you can gather up and summon in one turn. So I know that there's only 3 footmen in my deck, so I got to go through this process, even though it's redundant. So this is, and I already drew the 3 in this turn. So this is a gold, so I have to discard it. This is another gold card, so I have to discard it. And this is another gold card, so I have to discard it. Okay, because I played 3 footmen. So each of those allow me to reveal the top card of my deck, and if it's a footman, I get to draw it and put it into my hand, and otherwise I have to discard it. Okay, so now I have 3 attack, and the cards that you use to purchase with attack are either these city cards right here on the bottom row of the market, or your strongholds. And the benefit of both of these cards is that they give you certain amount of influence, which is one of the currencies that you use to either purchase the money cards or these action cards that are very, very helpful. And again, these are all part of the communal supply. So none of these cities I can afford. Do I have enough attack? Because the weakest city here is Donsmore, and that costs 4 attack, and I only have 3. So instead, I'm going to get one of my strongholds. You have 3 strongholds available, and I could either use 4 gold or 2 attack in order to acquire this. So I will use my 2 attack. And with these stronghold cards, along with any city cards, they actually do not go into your deck. They are placed on your table, in your tableau, so to speak, readily available for you to use. Every turn, you could use each of these cards once per turn. You tap it or rotate it 90 degrees clockwise to indicate that it's been used for this turn. And then at the beginning of your turn, you refresh all your previously used cards. So these are available for you from turn to turn, which is very helpful. And also, you don't have to worry about clogging your deck with 3 different currencies that don't always necessarily complement one another. Okay, so I do have this available for 1 influence. The only thing that's worth 1 influence, I could use it immediately, is this 1 coin. And I'm not really interested in getting that 1 coin. I'd rather focus on getting 2 or 3 denomination of coin. Okay, so we're done with my turn. And what happens is, at the end of a player's turn in a solo game or in a multiplayer game, at the end of a round when all the players have already taken their turn, you reveal the top card of the event deck and you carry it out. So the first card here is the Dragon Lord Mithrilin. And this is an enemy. And what happens with enemies is they immediately go on the top of the row here, on the top row here, right next to the objective. And they're available for you to compete or fight against in order to gain whatever reward they get. And in this case, the player who defeats this enemy claims it as a reward, which means it would go into your tableau of those cards that are always available for you. And basically, every time you use it, it would give you 1 coin. So this enemy is right there available forever whenever I want to attack him. All right, so we will proceed to the next turn. We're going to shuffle my deck of cards. And again, we're going to draw a hand of 5. Okay, so again, I only have 2 money. I wish I had more. But I'm going to use those 2 in order to purchase 2 more footmen. Because again, the footmen are weak. But if you get a lot of them by drawing them into your hand, they can add up. And then here we go. I've got this footman here, which allows me to look at the top card. If it's a footman, I get to draw it, and it is. Okay, I will play another footman, which allows me to look at the top card. It's not a footman. I must discard it. I will play another footman. Let's see at the top card. It's not a footman. I must discard it. I will play another footman. Let's see. It is not a footman. I must discard it. Okay, so I have 4 attack here, which means I can go for one of these cities. Now Dawnsmore, the weakest city here, is exactly 4. And I will gain this city and add it here to my tableau. And now I have 3 influence available for me. And I'm actually going to tap these right now. And I'm going to use those 3 influence in order to gain myself this value 2 gold card. Because again, I want to have higher money in order to increase my chances of buying some of the more valuable cards in my barracks. So there's that. And I am done with this turn. I will refresh my cities here, discard all these cards. And again, at the end of each player's turn, or at the end of all the players' turns, again, I'm only playing a solo game, we reveal the top event card. And here we have Rally Support. And this is an instant card. It says the first player gives this card to the player on his right, and that player claims this card as a reward. Well, guess what? I am the first and only player, so I will claim this as a reward. And now I have additional influence to help me for future turns. So let's draw my hand of 5 cards. Alrighties. 2, 3, 4, 5. And let's see what we will do. And again, I only have 2 money. So this is a slow start as far as money. There's only 1 footman left, so I wouldn't be getting the most bang for my buck. So instead of buying a footman with these 2 gold here, instead I'm going to buy a bowman. And the bowman is more helpful in a multiplayer game. It says when played, you can discard 1 card from your hand to destroy 1 opposing unit. There must be an opposing unit to trigger this ability. And this is for multiplayer games, where in a multiplayer game, not only do you have your attacks against the neutral enemy or AI enemy that the game creates, but you also have constant attacks against all your opponents around the tables, and this would allow you to eliminate opposing units. So it doesn't help you too much in a solo game, but you know what? It does have an attack cost or attack value of 2, so it's still more powerful than the footman. Okay, so I will play a footman here. Look at the top card. It's not a footman. I have to discard it. I will play another footman here. Look at the top card. It is not a footman. Painfully, it's the value 2 gold. I have to discard it. Here's another footman. Oh, and I drew a footman, so I get to keep it. Let's see the top card. It is a footman. Okay, so this is a good combo right here. I'll draw the top card. It's not a footman. Okay, so I do have 5 attack here. And Naricall, the city of Naricall here, has a value of 5. So I'll be able to conquer it, add it to my tableau. And not only will this add me 2 influence going forward, but this +1 tower symbol here means that it adds 1 to my realm card's life. So now instead of having a life of 20, a threshold of 20, I now have a life of 21. So that is helpful because it hasn't happened yet, but I will be incurring damage from the AI enemies as the game progresses. Okay, so now that I have all of this influence here, I'm going to want to use it. I'm going to tap these 3 here to get myself, I'm going to tap those 3 here to get myself one of these value 2 coins. And I'm going to tap these 3 here to get myself, you know what? I'm going to get this Battle Cry card, because this Battle Cry card has this resolution ability, which means resolution is at the end of an attack. When you resolve the attack, it's going to add 1 to each unit's strength in your army. So this is a helpful card, especially since all my units are rather weak. Okay, so we are done. You know what? Do I want to do that? I'm not sure I'm gonna do any attacking just yet. So I'm actually gonna set that back there, and I'm gonna get a value 2 coin instead because I want to start building up more cards from my barracks here before I do any attacking yet. Any series? Well, you know what? I am doing attacking. I'm attacking the city. Okay, forget that. I will get the battle cry. I apologize, folks. Okay, so I've got the battle cry there. So what will we be doing next? Okay, let's refresh these cards here. Let's resolve the event right here. We've got the slumbering Dragon Lord, which is an enemy. And again, the player who defeats this enemy claims it as a reward. And this is a level it has a life of 5. So it's a little bit weaker than the first Dragon Lord, Mifrelin. And we're done. Now we're going to do my turn. I'm going to draw 5 cards. Here's 3. I'm going to have to shuffle to get an additional 5, additional 2. Now I have 5. And finally, I've got some money. I've got 3 coins here. So with those 3, I'm actually going to get the Knight. And the Knight is very helpful because not only does it have an attack value of 3, but it says that when I play it, I reveal the top card of my deck. And if it's a unit with strength 3 or higher, I have to discard it. But if it's anything else, I actually get to draw it. So that is very, very helpful. So I'll place that in my discard pile. And let's see, I've got a couple footmen here. So let me play 1 footman. Is this a footman? No, so I have to discard it. Play another footman. Is this a footman? No, so I have to discard it. And play yet another footman. Is this a footman? Yes, it is, so I will play it. Is the top card a footman? No. Okay, so I have 4 attack. And I can no longer afford any of these cities. And I can't even afford any enemies. But what I can do is I can afford to buy both of these strongholds. And again, I have to make sure that I divide the currency in a way that there is no leftover that I'm counting on for another purchase. So for example, if I had a knight, which is a value of 3, and a footman, which is a value of 1, and that was my total of 4, I wouldn't be able to buy both of these cards because I wouldn't be able to use the 3 to buy this and still have 1 left over, right? If I use the 3 to buy this, then I would only have the footman to buy this, and he wouldn't be able to afford it. So again, you cannot split up or carry over your currencies from one purchase over to another. But luckily for me, I have 2 right here, so I could get a stronghold, and I have another 2 right there, so I could get another stronghold. Okay, so I will discard all these cards. I got a ton of influence here now. Let's see what I want to do with these. So I'm going to tap these here, which is a total of 5 influence, to gain one of these value 3 gold cards. Okay, those are very, very valuable. Okay, then I still have 3 left over, and I am going to use those 3 here in order to get myself another. No, you know what? I'll get myself another battle cry. I'll get myself another battle cry, which again adds to each army or each unit's strength. Okay, so we are done. I will refresh these, and let's resolve the event here. And it says Dragon Lord Frinilex. This is an instant, and it says deal 3 damage to each player's home realm. So that's the first time that we are being dealt damage. So this is 3 right here. But again, I have a life of 21, so I should be okay for now. And now we will proceed to the next turn. Let me draw a hand of 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. And let's see what I have. So I have 2 money again. I'm going to use that to get another bowman. And I have a bowman, which gives me 2 attack. I have a footman, so let's see what I draw here. This is a gold. I have to discard it. Let's play another footman. This is a footman, so I get this opportunity once again. Let me shuffle my discard pile. See if I get any more footmen here. Alrighties, and here we go. I will draw a card, and it is not a footman. Okay, so I have a total of 5 attack. I could attack the Dragon Lord here. That's 5. But I'm not going to, because I know that there's an event card coming up that will hurt me if I have one of these. So that's part of the that's part of having played this game with experience. That will very likely hurt me if I defeat one of these enemies. So I probably don't want to hurt them. Instead, I'm going to see, well, you know what? It would be a waste of a turn because I cannot afford any cities. Oh, I mean, is it worth it? Is it worth having a waste of a turn? You know what? Let's do it just to show you guys. I am going to fight the Slumbering Dragon Lord who has an attack cost of 5. Now, here's the problem. I have exactly 5. I have to roll this attrition die. And 2 of the sides have no skulls, but each of the other 4 sides either have 1 skull or 2 skulls. And what happens is, if I roll a skull, I have to kill units from my army equal to the amount of skulls that I roll. And those units will not count towards this attack. So let's roll the die here. And I'm so lucky, guys. I rolled the blank side of the die, so I didn't lose any units. Now, if any of my units were destroyed, they don't get eliminated from the game. They go back to your barracks on top of its respective stack, and they're available for future acquisition or future purchase. But again, they wouldn't count towards that current attack. So if you just had enough to defeat that enemy and you lose a unit or 2, then you will no longer be able to defeat that enemy. So I had exactly 5. I will be able to defeat the Slumbering Dragon Lord here. Add him here to my tableau. And I have tons of influence to work with here, guys. So I'm actually going to use 5 right here. Let me use these 5 in order to get this demon here, which not only gives me 5 attack, but also this unit cannot be destroyed in combat unless it is wounded. And wounded is a very particular term that's used in some of the cards in this game. But the attrition die will never cause this unit here to be destroyed. So that's pretty helpful. And again, it gives you 5 attack. Well, this guy, I'm sorry, is actually 6 worth of influence. So I'm going to have to tap 1 more. There you go. So that's 6 influence. 3, 4, 5, 6 influence exactly. And I've acquired this demon. And I'm going to tap another 3 influence to get myself another 2 value of gold. Okay, and we are done. Let's refresh these here. Let us reveal the top event card here. We have Dragon Lord Caladra, and it says this is an enemy. The player who defeats this enemy claims it as a reward. And this is its particular benefit. When attacking the objective, which again is how you win the game, you may re-roll the attrition die once. So if you roll the attrition die and it rolls in a way that is not favorable to you, you have the choice to re-roll it and hopefully roll a better roll. Okay, so there we go. We add that there as an enemy. And we will proceed to my next turn. I will draw 5 cards. And let's see what I've got here. So I have 3 gold, which I will use. As a matter of fact, before I use that 3 gold, I'm going to play this knight. I get to reveal the top card. And as long as it's not a unit of cost 3 or higher, I get to draw it. And this is not a unit at all, so I will get to draw it. Now I've got 5 gold. So it was a good thing I did that first. Because with those 5 gold, I'm going to buy the Siege Machine, which is the highest ranked unit I have available in my barracks. And basically it gives me 4 attack. And also during the resolution phase, I could discard 1 card. So I'm obviously going to have to hold on to a card. To add to your hand 2 strength to this unit. Okay, so I'll add 2 strength to that unit if I'm ever able to discard a card. So that's great. That's awesome. So let's keep on playing. I got the Footman here. Let's see if the top card is a Footman. No, it's not, so I must discard it. Play another Footman. See if the top card is a Footman. No, it's not, so I must discard it. I have a total of 5 attack here, which unfortunately for me, I cannot afford anything because even the cheapest enemy here is worth 6 and the weakest city here is worth 7. So that's all I will do with my turn. We will reveal the top card from the event, and it's the Dragon Lord Court Guard. This is an instant. It says this card attacks the player whose home realm has sustained the least amount of damage. In the case of a tie, this card attacks the home realms of all tie players. Now, this is interesting. First of all, I'm playing solo, so it's absolutely going to attack me. So this has 12 life. So the way it works is you always draw your hand of 5 cards at the end of your turn, technically before resolving any events. And you can use that current hand to fight against any enemy or instant that is immediately revealed who's attacking the player. So I can try to fight him. Now what's going to happen is I'm going to try to muster as much as attack as possible and subtract it from this value right here, and that's how much damage my home realm will sustain. So first of all, I've got this battle cry, which will add 1 to each unit's strength in my army. So that's great. I'm going to play this footman, which now I'm going to have to shuffle my deck here, my discard pile. And let's see if I can add a few more unit cards to my hand. I desperately need some. Alrighty. So let's see if the top card here is a footman. And it is a footman. Okay, great. I'll draw another card. Is it a footman? No, it's not. And I'll play another footman, see if it's a footman. And it is not. Okay. So I drew 3 footmen, and this battle cry is going to add 1 to each of these. So instead of this being 6 attack, or 3 attack, I should say, it is going to be 6 attack. So I will subtract 6 from 12, and that gives me a remainder of 6. So 6 is how much damage will be dealt to my home realm. So my realm has already sustained 9 damage out of a possible 21 worth of life. Now I will discard these cards. Now after you've resolved an event, if players have less than 5 cards in their hand, they draw back up to 5. So we are done with the event phase. We're going to move on to the next round. Okay, so let's see what we're going to do here. So I've got this demon here, which cannot be defeated. That's great. I've got this knight. Let me see if the top card is, yep, it's a unit, but it costs less than 3, so I get to draw into my hand. And I've got 6 money. So with those 6 money, I'm going to get 1 more siege machine. And I'm going to get this last footman here available in my barracks. Add those to my discard pile. I'm going to play this footman. See if I draw a footman. And I do not. I have to discard this. Okay. So I have 8 attack, which is enough to defeat Tamalier. And I will. Because even though, well, Riverwatch gives me the same amount of influence. Not only does Tamalier give me 3 influence, but it also gives me 1 more life value for my home realm. So now I can sustain up to 22 worth of damage. Okay, so there's that. And I have all of this influence to work with here. So let's see what I want to do with this influence here. I'm going to use 6 here to get this last demon here added to my discard pile. And then I'm going to use these 5 here. As a matter of fact, no, I'm going to use 4. I'm going to use these 4 here to get this forced march card. And this card is very helpful because it allows me to destroy a card in your hand and it allows you to draw 2 cards as a result. So that's awesome. You get to call some weak cards and add more cards to that current turn. So we're done with that. We'll refresh these right here. And we will draw the next event card, which is the Dragon Lord Gox. And it says, this is an enemy, at the start of each event phase, deal 2 damage to each home realm. So the way I play it is, technically, this was the event phase. So I will deal 2 damage immediately to me. And for as long as Dragon Lord Gox is there, I am susceptible to his attacks. It's going to keep on dealing 2 damage. So I want to get rid of Dragon Lord Gox as quick as possible. So let's see what we could do here. Let me draw a hand of 5 cards. All right. So we've got 2 coins here, which I will use to buy a bowman. And, ooh, no. I'm not going to use that because here's why not. I want to save these cards to discard because I got the siege machine, which if I discard a card, it allows me to add 2 to that unit's strength. So I will. Because here's the thing, guys. Without it, I would have had just 8 attack. Now I have 10 attack. I'm going to attack Dragon Lord Gox. But remember, on the lower left-hand side here, he has this attrition die symbol, which means I can potentially lose units going into that battle. And therefore, they won't count towards the attack. So if I would have had just 8, I would have risked failing this. Now I increase my chances of successfully defeating Dragon Lord Gox. So let me roll this attrition die. And unfortunately for me, I rolled the die symbol that has 2 of these skull symbols on it. So unfortunately for me, I'm going to have to destroy 2 units here. It's supposed to be discarded. 2 units here. And it obviously is going to be the 2 bowmen here. And now I only have 6 attack, which is not enough to defeat Dragon Lord Gox. Therefore, I failed in my attempt of attacking him this turn. And that is very, very frustrating. So, we're going to move on to the events phase, which again, at the beginning of each event phase, while Dragon Lord Gox is there, I will deal 2 damage. Let me make some change with these tokens here. See where I'm at. I have sustained so far 13 worth of damage out of a potential 22. And the event I drew here is Dragon Lord Margath. All right. The High Lord Margath himself. The player who defeats this enemy claims it as a reward, and it has this benefit. When attacking the objective, which is the condition of the game, you gain +3 strength. So this is very, very helpful. All right, so let's draw 5 cards. I have exactly 5 cards here. Some footmen, which means some drawing will take place. So let me shuffle these cards. Get ready to draw some cards. Oh, wait. I'm so sorry. Did I use my influence last turn? I did not use my influence. I was so frustrated by my failed attack that I did not use my influence. Let's do some of this. So let me use 4 to get this forced march. Let's revisit this. And let's do 5 right here to get this gold. And we'll leave it at that. I'm not going to get any more because I don't want to clog my deck with too much money cards, right? Okay, so let us do this here. All right. So let's refresh here. This is not going too well. Unfortunately, I lost 2 bowman units right there and also failed to get rid of the Dragon Lord Gox, who's little by little weakening my realm. Okay, so let's see. What do I have here? I have 3 footmen and 4 coins. With those 4 coins, I'm going to gain another knight. And let's see. I got this footman. Let's draw. And that's a 3. So I have to discard it. That's not a footman. Let me play another footman. And I have to discard it. Let me play another footman here. And it's a demon. That's painful. I have to discard it. So I only have 3 attack. And there's nothing I could do with the 3 attack. So this is a waste of a turn. We're going to deal 2 more damage because of the Dragon Lord Gox here to my realm yet again. And let's see the next event card. It's the Dragon Lord Sates. And he's an instant. It says this card attacks the home realm of each player who has at least 1 reward, not counting rally support. Even if you don't count rally support, I do have this reward here from the Slumbering Dragon Lord. So I will be attacked. And the value of this Dragon Lord is 9. So let's see if I can fend them off. So let me draw my 5 cards here. And I should be just fine. First of all, we're going to add 1 to the resolution. Let's play this card here and see if it's a footman. No, it's not. Let's play this here. See if it's a footman. No, it's not. Let's play this here. See if it's a footman. No, it's not. I have to discard it. But here we go. This is a total of 8. But because of the Battle Cry card, it's really going to be 12, which means I'm able to defeat this guy, and I do not have to sustain any damage. Okay, so we're done with that. I did have to spend some very valuable cards that would have been very helpful towards defeating Dragon Lord Gox, but we'll see what happens with this next turn. Okay, not too bad, guys, not too bad. I have this Battle Cry here, which will add 1 to each of my units. I have this Footman card here. Let's see if the top card is a Footman. Yes, it is. I have another Footman here. Let's see if it's a Footman. No, it is not. Okay. I will use these 3 coins to purchase another knight. And I will discard this card to add 2 to the strength of my Siege Machine here. So, Battle Cry is going to add 1 to each one. So this Siege Machine alone is going to be worth 7. And then this Footman is going to be worth 2 more. And this Footman is going to be worth 2 more. Okay, so I'm going to attack Dragon Lord Gox. And as long as I do not roll 2 of these skull symbols again, I should be fine. And I spoke too soon. I rolled exactly 2. So these will be destroyed. And with 7, I will not be able to defeat Dragon Lord Gox. So we are done. We will move to the next event. And we have ran out of the event stack. So what happens is you shuffle up the remainder that are in the discard pile. And you keep on going through those. And they're all very hurtful. And again, at the beginning of each phase, event phase, I have to add 2 to my attack. So let's make some change here. We are at 17 damage out of a potential 22. So we're not going to last much longer, guys. If I don't defeat the Dragon Lord Gox here real soon, we're in big trouble. Okay. So let us do this again. Got all these cards here. Draw up to 5. Okay, and let's see what we do. Okay, so we've got Force March, which allows me to destroy 1 card, which I will. And when you destroy a card, you always put it back in its respective stack. And that will allow me to draw 2 cards. So that's great. Then I will play this Knight here. And I will reveal the top card. And because it's a unit that has 3 or more attack, I have to discard it. That's terrible. I do have this Siege machine, which will allow me to discard a card to make it worth 2 more. And I'm going to go for this attack again. Now, unfortunately, I only have 2 units available. And they're very valuable ones. So if I roll some attrition symbols, I'm going to have to get rid of some really good cards. But what choice do I have at this point? Okay, so let's roll the attrition die. And I rolled the blank side, guys, so I am good. I have a total of 6/9 attack, which is enough to defeat the Dragon Lord Gox. Unfortunately, he is not a reward that you gain, so you do have to put him in the discard pile, and eventually you'll have to deal with him again. All right, so we're done with that. I do have a ton of influence, but I do not want to use that influence to purchase any money here, because again, I want to keep my attack cards coming out frequently at this point if I want to win the game. All right, so we'll draw the next event. Dragon Lord Frinnelex again. Instant, deal 3 damage to each player's realm. So I am at 20 out of 22, guys. I am pretty much done. I don't know. This will probably be my last turn of the game. Let's see what we do here. All right, so we have Battle Cry and Battle Cry. So just like that, I will be able to add 1 to each of my army's respective units. I'm going to do this here, this Knight right here. Reveal the top card, and it is not a unit of 3 or more, so I get to draw it. I will play this Force March, which allows me to destroy a card in order to draw 2 cards. And I will play this Footman here. This is not a Footman. I must discard it. I will play another Footman here. This is a Footman. I will draw it. I will play this Footman. This is not a Footman. I will discard it. So I've got 3 coins here, which I will use to purchase a Knight. And because I played 2 Battle Cries, I'm gonna add 2 to each of my units. So this is 5. This is 8. This is 11. This is 14. Okay, so I'm gonna have to try to defeat one of these guys. Each of these will lower by 2. I'm gonna go for the Dragon Lord Caladra because he's a little bit more. No, you know what? I'm gonna go for Dragon Lord Margath. I'm running out of time anyways. Here we go. And I rolled nothing. That's awesome. So I lose no units. I will be able to defeat the Dragon Lord Margath. He's a reward for me, which every time I attack the objective, I can gain 3 more attacks. So let's see if I could survive this next event phase. And we have the Dragon Lord Kogard. And again, basically he's going to attack me. I am at, what am I at? I'm at 20 out of 22. So as long as I can muster, his attack cost is 12. As long as I can muster 11 attack, I should be fine, right? Easier said than done. Oh my goodness, look what I drew. I just drew 2 Footmen. The likelihood, well, it's impossible. Is this a Footman? No. Is this a Footman? No. So I only had 2 attack here, minus 12. 12 minus 2 is 10. That's more than enough to destroy my realm. I have lost this game. And that's it, folks. This is how you play Rune Age, the deck building game. Thank you so much for watching. Consider clicking on one of the videos you see on the screen right now. Also, check in the description down below for a link to our Patreon account and see how you can support this channel and become more involved with the behind-the-scene process. Research and find a tier that works for you. This is Harry saying take care, everybody. Stay safe, stay healthy, and have fun gaming. Bye-bye.